Okay, Ignacio, tell me, how did you hear about me and how did you respond to being asked that you need to, the coaching was suggested to you at some point. Did you seek coaching from your organization?
So my case has got some peculiarities. I have been in my institution
Yes.
for more than 20 years. And that time makes you rust, okay? I have master's degrees, I have everything in life. And then I was basically stagnant at a point. I was moved from Mozambique
Yes.
to South Africa, and I was given a senior position,
yes,
which was actually to, at some degree, be the closest to my boss, to my supervisor,
time, yes,
and
yeah.
manage the team.
Yes.
And I started to fold.
Yes.
So basically, it was my manager, my supervisor,
yes,
who said, in a very honest way, that, you know what, I needed to upgrade myself.
yes,
I needed to get some coaching.
yes,
And he actually say, you know what, we have a good coach that has been doing a wonderful job in Nairobi.
yes,
Would you like to be interested? I said, absolutely. I mean,
yes.
I recognize that whatever you learn is not enough. And I said, yes. So that's when I heard about you.
Okay. And then we started to work together. We started to correspond. And I sent you the initial documentation, which I know can be quite a lot. And part of it is rules of engagement. And the reason I bring this up, because people have very interesting reactions to these rules of engagement. What did you think this was going to be? You know, there's what most people think coaching is. And then there's what they actually get when they start coaching. And I know that this is very different from coach to coach. What were your impressions before we started to work together? You have all the documentation, you have information about the problem that we're going to work on, and then we start working. Was there a difference between what the prerequisites preparation was and what the actual coaching became?
Thank you, Seraphine. Let me just put it this way before I actually go into the rules of engagement and what I take from.
Okay.
So we met first in September 2016. Okay.
Yes, yes.
My entire coaching was done in two parts. Part one, part two.
Yes.
As soon as I arrived in Nairobi, and the company just paid for it for me to go in Nairobi, I was just struck. One-on-one coaching with this vibrant lady that is actually sitting me. I was used to group training, sessions where you go by. No, you set me in one-on-one and then we started talking.
Yes.
The first day that we spoke, when I left back to the hotel, I said, let me just define what I'm getting here. It is simple, it is honest, and it's very effective. So let me just get the best that I can, okay? And then all the other sessions that came in, my mind was already open. I can tell you, your honesty in addressing the issues. It is something that you don't have from many coaches. Many coaches sugarcoat. Will actually just, tell you what you want.
Yes.
And they don't actually drive you to the point where you have to recognize where your flows are.
Yes,
okay?
yes. Yeah, because, most people don't like to be told what is in those simple terms. They don't appreciate it. And a lot of people have difficulty saying to people, this is the challenge you're going through because of 1, 2, 3, and 4 items that have occurred or that have failed to occur because of a direct failing on your part. Most people will not say that to you because, again, sugarcoating, as you put it, it's uncomfortable for many people. And one of the things, it's interesting that you say this because those who actually have worked with me and like me for whatever reason, like that. And there are those who don't like me for that very reason. They don't appreciate it. So, different styles work for different people. I hope it does. But my approach has always been very direct. Sometimes to a fault for some people's comfort. How did you take that?
So definitely, you designed the program, okay? You said, this is the program. You put together a library of books that I needed to read to actually.
Yes.
together. You created a dashboard with me, which I still keep until today.
A very simple, easy to
Very
use dashboard.
simple,
Anybody
but
can
it
use
helps
it.
me, what do I need to do weekly, daily, monthly, quarterly? What are the development plans? What I need to look at engagement with
Yes.
senior management. I need to sort of put that into function. And then when I looked into it and I said, okay, let me start practicing. I said, this is achievable.
Yes.
This is achievable.
Yes.
Now, the other thing that you indicated is that I needed to have what we call accountability partners.
Accountability partners. Yes, yes.
One for professional development, another one for family and social event, and another one for image.
That's
and
right.
Trust me, it was a new thing for me. When I came back to Johannesburg and I discussed with my boss said, I want to be your accountability partner for your professional development. I said, and he actually we signed an agreement, and he actually followed up on those things. We used to have a session that we used to call them, he's a smoking person, so we used to go to the balcony. He would smoke, very relaxed.
Yes.
And then he would tell me point by point,
yes.
issues where I was late, where I was not effective.
Right.
And trust me, within 2-3 months, the third month, management came to me and said, this is a different Ignacio. They actually told me so, called me and they said, you know what we see is a different person. You are more engaged, you are more direct, you go to meetings, you actually talk to people, because the assumption that we have about IT is that ITs are self-centered. And
usually, and that's one of the things I said to you, Ignacio. You remember when I recognized this is a person who is extremely extroverted, but at the same time, he's an IT professional. Those two combinations are rare. And I said to you, Ignacio, what you have is a gem of a personality for your field. You have a gem of a personality. So they noticed this as well.
So good. On the family side, I picked up one of my friends from 20 years ago. We'll start working even in my will, okay? Drafting will and doing everything that is so uncomfortable, but needs to be done as you indicate. And definitely he started even engaging with my wife, kids, just to sort of put them in a different place. And the family said, you know what, it's different. The last point, which was the image one, that was the difficult one. I remember that, when I arrived there, you actually look at my own dress and you said, this cannot be. You look even old. You honestly, you look old. This cannot be. You cannot be in a managerial position in a boarding room under this kind of. When I pick it up for my executive appearance, the dress code and so on, the image. I picked up my first daughter.
Right.
That Dad, we have been looking for an opportunity like this. Because it's not that you don't have the money, but you just forget about yourself. The first thing that she did, she took everything out of my closet and she donated it to charity.
Did you pass my greetings to her? Because I did ask you to say thank you to her.
I told her where it comes from. I said, I told her, this is the result of the coaching that I'm getting. Seraphine is the one that I actually showed the picture. And I said, I showed, the closet that we had online.
Yes,
and I said, this is the new thing that is necessary. And apparently, I have been neglecting on that. And she said, yes, you have been neglecting. So we started going to
stores
very
together.
classy stores.
Yes.
Actually changing everything. To me, it didn't touch one single part of my, I earn relatively well, right? Which means that it didn't bend anything.
You could manage it. It's just not something you prioritized before.
I did not prioritize. I would go into my network and whatever. You don't need to be dressed properly, and even if it's oversized or
But why did you embrace this? I mean, you had been fine all along. Your career was going on. You said you were stagnant, but your career was going on. Why did you embrace this? Because the criticism about how you appear is not necessarily very comfortable. So why did you embrace it? Why do you think you embraced it?
I think, you opened my mind that, you know what, you have to look like to become something. Your appearance does count, definitely.
It does count.
That is something that I have learned. When I changed my appearances and I said, I could see that when I went to meetings to actually interact with people, they would pay attention. They would not be in their tablets, in their phones and so on. So it does count. And I even felt bad. I mean, how I was before.
Yeah.
And I was feeling fresher. I was feeling invigorated, new. And this is how I feel now. I mean, definitely now it's part of myself to present myself, be careful.
Yes.
If we go to a social event, I actually tell everyone, what is the dress code, and I make sure that we follow that, which was completely out of my dictionary.
Before.
Completely out of my dictionary. So my kids were saying that I was living in the 19th century, right, instead of the 21st century, and I said, there's always time to learn, and
there's always time to learn. Yeah. When we know better, we do better. And one of the laws we learned about was the law of gender, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
When things come together, when the right ingredients come together, then a new idea is birthed. Always, and that can come earlier on, that can come later on, so long as it comes.
Yeah. The only thing that I can confess that I failed was to start my golf. Because you suggest, because I told you once that, I had my managers invited me to go to a golfing session, and I just sort of didn't see the value of it.
You didn't see the opportunity. You thought it was just going to play golf on the golf course. You thought it was just about.
No, it's networking. It's exactly this is where decisions are taken. And definitely, I did join, some of the sessions, but it never picked it up. And definitely because I prefer other intense sports and so on. And then because there were other activities which replaced that, which were get-togethers with managers and having some tea or beer or whatever.
Yes.
And by the way, I stopped drinking quite a long time ago. Okay. So I went into that. And then when you gave me this library of books, I managed to drink them, absolutely drink them, not even read them, just not drink them.
Yes, study them, really study, because there's reading and studying. Those are two different things.
Two different things. And then I passed them to my children, because
you told me, yes.
Each one was something. For instance, the startup of you. I have one kid who definitely is going onto his own business. He's a graphic designer.
You mentioned, yes. Yeah. Did he finish university?
He did.
Okay.
He did finish in university, but I said, you never finish university. Okay. You finished his bachelor's degree. I said, now you do master's while you're still young. He's 26. And I said, you can do your PhD. My daughter, who is now finishing her honors degree, just finished the honors degree last week. I just gave her, that girls don't get a corner office.
Yes.
That's what
nice girls get the corner office. Yes.
Appreciated by, but I keep to myself. I adore Tim Ferriss, the 4-hour work week. I said, this is the model that I'm going to use forever. And I've been actually applying it to my teammates. So
it frees you. It frees you because you stop getting involved in all the manual things that you can delegate to other people, so that you have more mind space to think about the vision rather than the manual day-to-day activities in any venture that you're involved in, whether you're in employment or in private business.
And guess what, Seraphine? They feel empowered. Every time we have a meeting, they said, before you used to do everything and just come out and tell us, but right now you give us a task and you say, you have 15 days, come to me if you have a problem. So they feel empowered because they have tasks and they have deliverables and they have a timeline.
That's what leadership is, Ignacio. Leadership means you don't do the things yourself. You influence other people, and influencing other people is a whole new skill that you have to learn. Their principles, but at the same time, there is the people that you're managing, whether it's at home or at work, that you need to understand based on exactly where you want them to go, so that you pull them towards that direction without forcing them. You pull them in a way that makes them feel they want to come with you of their own volition, not because they are obliged to, you know.
So as a result, I can only say that as a result of the coaching,
Yes.
when there was a need to refresh management, and
Yes.
definitely the normal thing would be, so for another person coming from Washington. So definitely.
And that's what you expected.
I expected that, like everybody expected that. What was my surprise when senior management called me and said, you are prepared, you are in a good position, you are local, which means that you can even speak the local languages and understand this. I was completely surprised. Absolutely. And I said, this could never have happened without Seraphine's help. Never.
Music
ever.
To my ears.
But it's the honesty thing. It's the honest thing. You prepared me, you coached me, you actually built me to be in a position. He said that he knew for sure that I would be in that position and I'll be well. So from 2018 until now, it's been rolling perfectly. And my team, which is the Southern African team, is one of the best performing teams in the.
I have to tell you, Ignacio, all these wonderful things you're saying to me, and I can bask in the glory of being this wonderful coach that has helped you from point A to point Z. However, I cannot coach you without your permission. I cannot. And one thing that I like to make sure that people really understand and appreciate about themselves is that I do only 20% of the work. The rest of it comes from you, actually. When you come ready, willing, and able, and with an open enough mind, then it works. Because my bit is just a very little bit. Everything else is about your acceptance and your willingness to move from where you are to where you could be, which sometimes you don't even know. You don't even see because you've been with yourself for so long. It's the other party that comes into your life with an objective mind and thinking and is looking at you and saying, Ignacio, that dress has to go. Ignacio, that way you're performing has to go. Ignacio, that timing has to go. Ignacio, those goals need to be more audacious. And before someone does that, it's very easy to just go through life, with a lull, the regular lull, because, you are this age, most of your friends are at this level, and you're probably doing better than most of your friends, and your family is fine. And, there's no need to do anything extra because doing something extra requires a bit more work. But when you have somebody pushing you to be what you could be rather than what you are and you're comfortable with, then it just provides a new impetus for you to perform better than what you think is your best. And that's something you bring to the table. I don't give you that. That's something you bring. Do you know that there are cases where I have completely failed to help somebody? There are. So it's really up to you. Yeah, same coach that you're praising right now. Thank you. But I have to give that praise back to you. I have to give that praise back to you because you allowed me.
Thank you. But having benefited from your insights, the way you actually address issues, and your honesty, I don't think that you have failed at any point. Okay. I believe that what happened is that people do not realize, right, where they are and where they need to be.
Yeah.
Because definitely once you actually gave me the principles of how to become, potential, right? How to gain my own potential as a professional and as a human being and so on. Yes. You gave me clear tasks and you gave me a timeline. It's pushing, right? But not too much. And
it is pushing,
you kept checking at all the times and then correcting and saying, you know what, this could have been done better. This could have, and then that motivated me because definitely it is something that, throughout all of the training, it was emphasized and respect was kept all of there. The rules of engagement were very, very, very clear.
Yes.
Definitely no crying, no nothing, and definitely. So
you're paying me by the hour. So if you start crying, then it just makes it's on your dime. If you start crying, it's on your dime.
I can only be thankful to the institution as well, because definitely other private firms or even some multilateral firms, when you start to rust a little bit, they can put you in a corner or let you go.
Yes.
Now, have provided me with a first-class coaching, one-on-one, and I repeat, one-on-one.
One-on-one, yeah.
And this is something that I had never had before. It is something that actually worked out well, and then the results could be seen. So I'm just thankful to the institution as well. And when everyone is giving me at least more tasks and responsibilities and giving me a trust in terms of what my outcome, has become, and the position that I'm having now, I can just say, thank you. Your help has happened. The institution has been open to that. Otherwise, they could have kicked me out very easily, and everyone is replaceable, like you always say. There is nobody who's not replaceable.
Nobody is not replaceable. Yes, everybody is. Yes. So, what do you say to organizations who have team members who probably are, experiencing a lull in their career, not moving ahead? They seem complacent with the way they do things. Not particularly ambitious about the next level. What do you say to organizations about such kind of people? Because you've rightly put it, they could have just put you in a corner and edged you out slowly. Yeah, what should organizations do?
Seraphine, to those organizations, I would tell them, give a chance to those who are in a lesser position to actually realize where they are. Okay, give them a coaching like the one that I just got. All right. So if an organization sees something, instead of doing what this case, there's this case of a person who just fired 19 people through a Zoom meeting. I'm not sure whether you heard about it, right?
No.
Yes. So that has been viral for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Someone just went in a meeting and said, a boss went in a meeting and said, by the way, if you are connected to this meeting, it means that you are fired. So as simple as that. So all I'm saying to this organization is give them a chance. It might be a cost, but there will be benefits, because it's a one cost that needs to be taken in terms of skills development, in terms of career development.
Yes.
But there will be a return. And the return is actually like the same employee that you had, who has got a track record.
Who's got a track record and organizational history.
Organizational history is
yes.
Somebody who will come in stronger, more motivated, more knowledgeable, in a better position, and that's what I can prove by my own.
What do you say to the team members who see coaching as something that is a punishment, perhaps, by the organization? Most people think that when you are recommended for coaching, then it's a sign that you're being punished for one reason or another.
So I would tell them to be honest with themselves to start with, and assume that you cannot know everything at every time. There are some gaps that you need to fill, and the only way that you can fill those gaps is by learning. Continuous learning, and then being open to taking some new knowledge that you didn't even know that existed. That was my case. So the tendency of believing that, if you are giving coaching, it's because somebody has seen something bad on you or
wrong,
lacking on you.
Yeah.
It's natural, but take that as something that I'm being given something that will be useful for my entire life, even beyond the organization.
Thank you for saying that.
Beyond the organization, because even if I'm not useful here, nobody's going to take away what I have learned in terms of
exactly,
skills, in terms of community building, networking, and then creating, even plans to achieve them in time and so on. All of these things will be useful even if I go to private.
That's right. That's right.
If anyone is identified that needs coaching, embrace it from that perspective. And trust me, you will be better when you return. And obviously, I hope they are sent to you, and definitely,
thank you. We'll tell them to send them to me in particular.
I will for sure.
Thank you so much, Ignacio.